Alright, do you have a lot of reading to get done and only a short amount of time to do it? Well, here are 5 tips to get the job done that allow me to double my reading speed, starting with this tiny section of the book Elon Musk that took me 59 seconds to read. And let's try to divide that time by 2. Hi, Jarod here, and today let's talk about reading. On average, an adult can read somewhere between 200 and 300 words per minute, and with speed reading skills, you can read much faster, around 1,500 words per minute. Yes, that sounds impossible, but it's true. Alright, first let's quickly break down the reading process. So, how average people read. The first step is for the eyes to look at the words. This fixation on every word takes around 0.25 seconds. Next, you start moving your eyes to the following word. It takes 0.1 second for the brain to move from one word to the next. Usually, you take in 4 to 5 words in your head or a sentence at once. After all these fixations and saccades, the brain goes over the entire phrase again in order to process the meaning. This takes around half a second. This means average people read 200 to 300 words in a minute. And if you are wondering how fast is really considered fast enough, technically even reading 301 words is considered faster than average, and the higher your word count, the better. But this depends on your own needs, and you can feel like 350 is enough, even 200, but we'll talk about it later. As an experiment, I recorded myself while reading this section of the introduction of the book Elon Musk by Ashley Vance. It is exactly 153 words, and the raw reading took me 59 seconds exactly, which is below average. Alright, the interesting part. Tip number 1, stop the inner monologue. This happens when we actually say the word in our minds, even when reading silently. Basically, speed reading is the technique of only saying the words instead of speaking them silently. And when we first learned to read, we were instructed to read aloud. And this is how most people still read today, and this is how the habit started. We are unaffected by it until we start wishing we could more quickly. This is the first obstacle you need to learn to go through if you want to speed up your reading process. According to Forbes, the average adult reading speed is 300 words per minute. The average talking speed is the same. For example, when you see a stop sign, do you actually stop to speak the word in your head? Of course not. You just look at it and process it automatically. This is what you need to be doing when you read your print material, such as books or paperwork. I always tell myself to just run my eyes over the words. If you have a hard time trying this, attempt reading with music playing in your headphones. A distraction will keep your brain less focused on sub-vocalization, though you will still look at the words and process them. Alright, so let's get back to my small experiments. For now, I read 150 words in 59 seconds. Trying to stop my inner monologue really helped me a lot. I've gone from 59 seconds to 40 seconds, or a decrease of 42%. This brings us to tip number 2, which is word chunking. Even though we are trained to read each word one at a time and make sure we don't miss any letters, as was said with the inner monologue, a person can take in many words at once. One method to simplify this phrase is to use your peripheral vision, but we'll cover that in more detail in the next section. Try to read 3 words at once, keep going down the page in this pace, and you should still have the ability to analyze and understand what you read, but it takes much less time, as you read 3 words instead of 1, so a 3-to-1 ratio. Take that idea a step further now. Divide that text into 3 portions by drawing 2 vertical parallel lines down the paper. As usual, start at the bottom left corner of the page and use your hand or piece of paper to include everything below that line. Try to read each section as a single unit. Organize the text into chunks and scan them like a road sign. Continue repeating this while adjusting the paper as you go down the page. You'll see that you will be moving more quickly than previously. Grouping the words with a 3-to-1 ratio also helped me decrease my reading time by around 30%, from 40 seconds to 26 seconds. Alright, tip number 3, use peripheral vision. Instead of chunking in smaller groups of words, try reading one line at a time. This involves looking at the center of the line and using your peripheral vision to read the rest of it. Scan the page in this way, and when you reach the bottom, you will find that you still understand what you read, but you did it in a record time. I feel like that's the method that helped me the most. I've only gained 5 seconds, from 26 to 21 now, so a change of 19%. But packed with this previous chunks method, reading one line using my peripheral vision is highly beneficial. Alright, so I went from reading and analyzing one word at a time to one line at a time, which helps me to save a tremendous amount of time each and every pages. Alright, tip number 4, change your fonts. Researchers discovered that switching to a font that was more suitable for the reader increased reading speed while preserving comprehension. Think of it as a prescription glasses for the digital age. Changing the font style and size can speed up the reading process while keeping comprehension. Sean Wallace, an Adobe research intern, led the study, and as he said, this research shows that we should start looking at fonts fonts the way we look at reading glasses. With the right font, we can reshape how an individual sees text to help them read faster. This research is just beginning, as we can explore all facets of how to redesign text to match an individual's needs. The most of the time, I use a Kindle to read my books, and you can in fact change from one font to another, and even customize your own fonts. And I wanted to use the quicksand fonts, the one I used to write my scripts and Photoshop thumbnails, but I found that the standard one was better and allowed me to read as efficiently as possible while minimizing eye fatigue. According to the study, changing to the font that fits best your reading process can speed up your reading process by up to 35%. This is worth looking at it. Alright, so this is not an advice, it's more a piece of information. Sometimes we cannot get better for that particular situation because the book itself is way too complicated to understand everything without a break, taking notes, and so on. Sometimes speed reading itself doesn't work or doesn't seem to be working because the book itself doesn't fit that purpose. So keep in mind that this has to be linked with note-taking, for example, which helps us memorize a ton of useful information easier and quicker. At this point, you might say that I've got better at reading this section simply by reading it multiple times. Well, I've also recorded myself reading another section of the book, page 183, when Ashley talks about Elon Musk's social life. And it contains 324 words that I've read in 97 seconds, and I've literally applied all the rules and tips talked about earlier, and I've went from 97 seconds from the rule reading to 45 seconds now. And if you want to upgrade your note-taking process and memorize everything more efficiently, the video is right here. And here are 6 rules in life taught by Elon Musk himself right there. Thanks so much for watching, feel free to leave a comment down below, subscribe if you want to see more, and as always, I will see you in the next one.